I know this isn't typically the type of video I upload on my channel, but I figured since a lot of young men watch me, it's my primary audience, I figured a lot of you guys could benefit from this type of video, maybe learn something from my story or what I have to say, what I've learned myself, and I just thought my experience I had is definitely one that is unique, to say the least. So if you guys didn't know, I mostly do Clash Royale videos on this channel. I'm a bit of a nerd, so when it comes to dating, I was a little late to the game, which is typically what you can expect for nerds and introverted guys. I mean, when I was in high school, I didn't really have much dating experience whatsoever. I mean, it certainly didn't help that we had a pandemic where my junior and senior year was practically all online and we had a lot of events canceled in high school. But anyway, that's besides the point. But my first real experience with it was when I was 20 years old, and of all places where it ended up starting, it was Instagram, where a girl messaged me, and essentially she said that I was cute, and she basically asked if I wanted to talk on Snapchat. I actually didn't see it right away. I didn't see it for a long time. A few weeks passed when I finally saw it and responded. And because I also thought she was cute, I decided to give her a chance. And we started talking. One thing led to another, and essentially we started calling, and then we got to the point where we were texting so frequently. I mean, every single day, multiple times a day. And what I actually realized, I didn't realize this beforehand, but a few months ago, she had actually messaged me on Twitter reaching out originally, and I never saw her message request. And she, funny enough, is someone that watched my YouTube videos and streams. So it's funny, sometimes people make jokes in my live streams or ask, would I ever date a fan? Well, in a way, it kind of sort of happened, or you could say almost happened. So I'll explain. As things with her escalated and we both realized we were very interested in each other, we agreed to meet halfway. We lived a few hours away, so we figured meeting halfway was best. I originally was going to go over to where she lived and just drive a long time, or she was even saying she'd be willing to drive out here, a few hour drive. But I just thought it would be best to meet halfway because it was the first time we were meeting, and I thought that was the most fair. And we were both very invested at this point, or at least so I thought, and I really liked her. I even thought before we met that I wanted her to be my first girlfriend because I found her so attractive. We just had very good conversations, and even though it was all through a lot of times just calling and texting because I had little to no dating experience at this point, what more am I supposed to know? And also, the other thing, too, you have to consider is she literally played Clash Royale. Well, she still does, as far as I know. She watched my videos and streams, so I thought, this is just the perfect opportunity. How could I screw this up? I literally got everything going my way. She literally plays the game I do. She's a fan of my content, which is so rare. 95% of people that play this game are guys. She's also hella smart. I mean, she graduated from an amazing college. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's one of the top schools in the country. And I've always known, like, if I'm with someone, I want them to be really smart. So essentially, we meet halfway, right? We go hiking. It went very well. I would say it went very well. We were both shy. I might have even been more shy than she was because, again, I just in general had very little dating experience. I mean, in high school, I've gone on a couple double dates here and there, and of course, I've had a little bit of experience, but hardly any at all, right? And it was going very well. We were shy and nervous, and then one thing led to another. I don't need to go into all the details, but I had a lot of my first experiences, you could say. So first kiss and more than that, but I think you get what I mean without going into detail. And it was just in general a very, very good weekend. And once we were, driving back home, we were pretty much calling the whole time. And then once we got back, I already had in my mind, like, oh my goodness, this is definitely going to be my first girlfriend. Everything is going so well. She's perfect. And you can just tell from how I'm talking why this ended up being a problem. I became very, I don't know how to explain it, but I wanted to continue escalating things really quick. And she could just tell afterwards from how I was texting, how I was acting. I was very, you could say, desperate. I really liked her. It got to the point where I liked her more than she liked me, which is insane to think because she was literally a fan of my content. And then it got to a point where I'm essentially a fan of her. And I think essentially that caused her to lose respect for me, lose interest, and you can kind of see what happened. I mean, the texts from her kind of simmered down a bit, and I even did some pathetic things like double, triple texting, and I was just overthinking everything. What am I doing wrong? Oh my goodness, what am I doing wrong? I was trying to get answers from her, and you know how it typically goes when this sort of thing happens. Most people anyway, of course there's the option you might just get straight up blocked or you might not get any closure whatsoever, but the basic stuff where she was saying things, like it's me, it's not you, and other excuses. But anyway, you get the point. Usually, it's something else, and that's what I know now. But the bottom line is, I didn't have any self-respect. The fact that I let it affect me as much as it did, at first it gave me so much anxiety because I was already expecting so much more. I was thinking she was going to be my first girlfriend. I, saw a future with her. As short of a time I knew her for, it just escalated so quick, just so fast, and I put all the blame on myself. And in the process, I wasn't doing the things I should have been doing. I wasn't uploading videos as often. I wasn't streaming. Even in school, I was kind of slacking. I remember pre-calc, I literally had to drop it before the grade penalty. I retook it though and got an A, so that's good now. But at the time, just everything was falling apart because I was spending so much of my time and energy thinking about her, how I could make it work. And this wasn't even before that happened. This was during the time I was talking to her. It got to the point where I cared about her more than myself. And I guess that's the biggest takeaway I wanted to just talk about in this video, about how important it is to make sure you stay on track and just how dangerous it can be sometimes to fall in love so quick. And I will say, before I get into it too, I learned some things down the road too. Eventually we did speak more, and I realized it truly wasn't my fault whatsoever, or the way I was acting, the desperateness and caring too much. Of course, that's something I had control over and was wrong, but there were things about her I didn't even realize. For example, I found out she had borderline personality disorder. If you don't know what that is, you guys can look that up. I don't know if I want to talk too much in this video what that is, but it's essentially something mentally, and people that have to live with it, it is very, very rough. And then she also took some medication as well, and just essentially was going through a lot of stuff I didn't even realize. And I'm one of the lucky individuals to actually get that kind of closure, because some guys or some women might just get ghosted out of nowhere, completely blocked. So at least she was willing to tell me about those things, and it kind of essentially explains what happened to me. I was pretty much love bombed and idolized at the start, because essentially people that have borderline personality disorder, that's what they do. And I've never seen that kind of, just, I guess, attention and idealization from someone, and that just made me feel so, so good. And then to have that just taken away out of nowhere when you're expecting it just to continue and continue is just so depressing. And that's why it made me so anxious and depressed. And it took me a really long time essentially to get out of it. But what I did was, once the grieving was over, I kind of used that extra time to focus on getting my life back in track, right? Making sure I'm doubling down with school, getting the classes done I need to, working out, trying to get in good shape, with my channel, making sure that's coming along. Started streaming again after I took a break from streaming for a while. And now, well, this is a recent thing, but I recently bought my own condo that I'm very excited about. So I'm starting to focus more, basically, which should be my life. It's, of course, what you should be doing, focusing on myself and not on women. And since I've been dating other women, but I haven't gotten nearly as attached. Things have kind of been going more so what they're supposed to be going like, right? They're women that live near me that I've been dating after her, not, someone like her that lives further away, someone that was literally a fan of my YouTube channel, which is absolutely, it's kind of absurd to think. I mean, a lot of guys would maybe be thinking like, oh, that's a red flag early on, but I didn't have the experience or knowledge to realize that. And maybe because she was really cute, because she was smart, and because I thought I really liked her personality, I thought I could, like, that didn't even ring a bell, essentially. But the bottom line is, what I'm trying to say, guys, is you have to really make sure you focus on yourself. You have more self-respect and value yourself, because women that I've dated after her, I've definitely been doing a better job of that. And that doesn't mean you have to turn into like you have a villain arc. Like, I know some guys, like, you get heartbroken, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be just cold, I'm gonna be an asshole to all these women. No, no, you should still be yourself, but it's more so being confident in yourself, having more self-respect, and realizing that there's better women out there. Don't have one-itis, you could call it, where I just kept thinking over and over, she's the one, she's the one. How am I going to find someone that looks better than her, is as smart as she is, and has plays like Clash Royale? Like, wow, that's crazy. Like, as if that's even something that really at the end of the day matters that much. Because is this game that I play even going to be around a few years from now or 10 years from now? No, of course not. But the point I'm making is there's a lot of women out there, or if women are watching this video, then there's a lot of men out there, and you will find someone better, especially if that person didn't treat you well. I mean, because there's a heck of a lot of people that are going to treat you how you essentially deserve to be treated and the way that you want to be treated, basically. But the most important thing is treating yourself with respect, which is something I didn't do. And with all this that happened, it was certainly a wake-up call, and I'm glad that I finally started getting my life back on track after. And I just wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know how you guys are going to think of this. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to give it a like and leave your thoughts in the comments below if you guys have anything to share. And do you guys enjoy these types of videos? If you do, I guess I'll consider doing it from time to time more often, because it's something I've wanted to try now for a while. Thanks again. Until next time, guys.